So if you're watching Joe Rogan podcasts, you'll know that Mark Zuckerberg was on it just recently, and he was talking about changes to Facebook or Meta, whatever he likes to call it. Meta. He doesn't call it Facebook anymore. Not cool, not trendy. So now the hip new Mark Zuckerberg, the guy that does MMA, the guy that does jujitsu, the guy that's getting all jacked and stuff. He's no longer robotic. He's changing stuff up. So now they're getting rid of some of the stupid moderation that goes on, the fact checkers. Fact checkers. I'm a fact checker. I check facts. So he's getting rid of those. But he's opening up the door to other stuff, which you'll see. I'm gonna explain a little. I'll show you. I'm actually gonna show you. I released actually today. I don't know if you noticed. Anybody noticed that's watching? I released a short about what I encountered on Facebook just today. If you didn't, well, I'm going to show it to you here anyway. So I'm going to read this article just a little bit. This is Forbes. I like Forbes kind of. I don't know. I think they're a little bit of a dumpster fire, but they're pretty good for most stuff. When it comes to politics, they're kind of awful. But here we go. Mark Zuckerberg changes direction on Facebook monitoring. On a journey of sorts, but where you'll end up is not always clear. The co-founder of Facebook, now Meta, has become a social media icon. He doesn't seem as reserved, measured, or rehearsed as he did in the past, which, again, is true. If you watched him on Joe Rogan's podcast, he seemed like a normal dude. I mean, albeit a little weird, but he is pretty smart, and pretty smart people are usually a little weird. Preferring a more trendy style and upbeat demeanor. In recent months, he has also ditched his traditional gray shirts for a more eclectic wardrobe. He seems to be ditching a lot of other things as well. Recently, Zuckerberg decided to abandon a fact-checking strategy used to monitor the Facebook app, where a content team poured over posts and made sure no one was spreading hate speech or causing a stir with misinformation. So he talks about this also on the podcast. He talks about how they kind of erred into this. They didn't, in real time, it's very hard to make these kinds of decisions and changes when you're dealing with, a platform that is, any given time could have billions of people using it and has something like, I don't know how many are real, but they boast to have something like 3.2 billion users on the platform. I would suggest that probably a third of that, or maybe 25% of that, is probably fake, bots and the like, but it may be lower than that, but either way, a lot of people to try and moderate and to try and fact check and, in real time, especially. So he went through that. He talked about it pretty good. And he actually admitted completely that they erred on it, and he likes the X format with the community notes. So they're going to move in a direction now where they get away from the fact checking and more into the community notes or something like that. Obviously they'll try and do something, proprietary to Meta or Facebook. They're not going to use community notes exactly as they are, right? So they're going to try and, whatever. Community notes 2.0, let's say. So it was good. It was good that he's, that he's acknowledged that, and he's not actually, trying to deny it. It was like his comments were less robotic and political than he's been in the past, even before the last time he was on Joe Rogan. So he seems to be changing for the better, which is nice. What are you saying here, Joe? The clips from this were great. It was funny when Rogan called him out and they both shut up for a minute. Yeah, there was a little bit of that. Yeah, there was a little bit of that for sure. You could see the wheels turning a little bit, right? So he's got to be careful. I mean, anybody who doesn't, excuse me, anybody who doesn't understand the position that he's in, he has this multi-billion-dollar company that he's the founder and CEO of, and there's a lot of pressure with that, obviously, right? You've got to be careful what you say. I'm sure before he went on, he had lawyers, basically debriefing him a little, saying what he could and couldn't say, maybe what he should and shouldn't talk about, things like that. And then he's got to be careful, and it's got to be kind of organic. He can't steer clear of things. Joe's going to press. He knows that. And, I'm sure Joe did that too. He curtailed himself a little bit to give him a little bit of a pass at times and stuff on things. He let him ramble on a little bit. He let him dodge around answers a little bit. But all in all, I thought he did a pretty good job, Zuckerberg, of not looking like he was doing that too much. And he explained himself at times where he was saying that, they've got to be they got to be careful with what they do as far as moderation and that kind of thing. And he seemed to admit basically that they were pushed by government. But what I didn't like, there was something that he didn't do. He kind of blaming the Biden administration prior to the Biden administration getting in. So the whole Hunter laptop thing, that was in October. So that was while the Trump administration was in. So there wasn't enough. I think that was a bit of a blind spot for Rogan, where he didn't press on that, or maybe they agreed not to press on it too much. I would have asked just flat out. I would have said, you're blaming the Biden administration, but it's not the Biden administration that's in power at the time. So really, it's a deep state or it's some other actors that are doing that. Whether they're obviously pro Biden at that point and anti-Trump, but that's not to say that they're the Biden administration. So that's the whole thing. It's that deep state argument that kind of reinforces, right? So I hate fact checking. I will never figure out how we get along without it for 30 years. Yeah, no, that we got along. I mean, yeah, I have a fact checker always beside me when I say something. They go, "Oh, wait, no, that's dumb." It's called my girlfriend. So she's pretty good at it most of the time. That doesn't mean Biden's team didn't press him. No, I agree. But it's not. But that's what I'm saying about Biden's team. So Biden's team's not in power. That's the whole thing. I think it's people. If the FBI is doing it and such, they're reaching out to Meta or Facebook. At that time, they're not under the orders of any Biden administration. So they're obviously under the orders of some other shadow type government or whatever that we always hear about. That was my point. I wish he had kind of pressed on that a little bit, because I think he allowed Zuckerberg to just kind of get out of it to say that the Biden administration, just to kind of blame it like that. It's an easy scapegoat, and it's easy, just quick answer without delving into it too much. And I kind of wish they did that. But okay, so all that aside, good things for Facebook. Realistically, I can't argue it's good things for Facebook. But I'm going to show you this. This is funny. You'll get a kick out of this. So I was scrolling. I just happened to be scrolling through Facebook earlier today. Just sometimes I get ideas for the podcast, what I want to talk about, or I get little bits of information, just cultural stuff, what's going on, and ran into something pretty neat that's related to what we're talking about here with like moderation and not fact checking, because the facts on this are pretty clear. But I'll play this for you. I'm not gonna bust this. I set this video up for you, so here we go. Okay, so this is me scrolling.
Dude, I've never looked at my kids' grades. I don't.
I didn't make this up. This came up. Of course, I blacked it out. I had to.
So I left my keys in the ignition.
I'm just gonna let that play through again. Okay, this is on.
Who's here to save the day?
Okay, restart now. Okay, there's a video here.
Dude, I've never looked at my
Normal
kids'
video.
grades. I don't.
That video. And I could keep going back and forth and get it again.
So I left my
Which was
keys
the
in the
craziest
ignition
thing
and the
about
battery's
it.
dead.
I didn't expect that, because I thought, this must be some kind of error or something. There's no way that this slipped through Facebook's, net or whatever, right? Somehow it got through. But if you don't know what was going on there, I had to black it out because it was absolute full-on graphic. A woman with 2 fingers inserted, and she was expelling liquid. Yeah. And you could see it all. So I do have the unredacted version somewhere. So unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Like, when you see something, you go, oh, no, that's not real. That didn't happen. Yeah, that's what happened. I was like, nah. I thought for a second my phone got hacked or something. I was like, God, somebody hacked me somehow. But nope. I scrolled back a bunch. I scrolled forward. I kept going back and forth just to see. Anybody else run into that before, where they see something X-rated that they should not have seen running through the scroll. What are you saying here? So, you want to explain what you're searching? No, that's so funny. My buddy said the exact same thing. I've never obviously searched for anything like that on Facebook. Why would I? Like, you're gonna find woman, orgasming on Facebook? Why would you ever search for that? You're never gonna search for that. Maybe I thought it. Maybe Facebook's reading my thoughts. I don't know. But no, that was completely weird, random. That it just happened to pop up. Yeah, she basically, she peed. I mean, that's what happens when a squirt happens. It's just pee. There's no separate, pocket of water somewhere in there. Everybody thinks it's like, oh, there's this other magical liquid. Nope, just pee. So yeah, very weird, really weird stuff. But I couldn't help but think, wow, that's crazy that it somehow just snuck by the whatever moderation or quality control of Facebook. It was just very funny, very odd. So felt lucky. I felt lucky that it happened to me. It wasn't just something that I that anecdotally heard about.